All right. Let me warn you up front. This episode is going to make people uncomfortable because it's about something everyone participates in and nobody wants responsibility for. Today, we're talking about standards, or more accurately, the complete lack of them. And before you get defensive, let me start somewhere very familiar. If you've ever ordered food from KFC Maraval or Royal Castle Arima, waited 40 minutes, got the wrong order, missing fries, cold chicken, and still said, it's cool, congratulations, you just trained incompetence. That right there, that's the country in miniature. Not parliament, not crime, not corruption. That moment. Because in places that work, mistakes are expensive. In Trinidad, mistakes are tolerated. And what you tolerate multiplies. Let's get more specific. If you've ever gone to Wassa because your pipe burst, sat on a plastic chair under a flickering fluorescent light, watched one clerk actually working while 3 others chatting about a wedding in Mayaro, and the answer you got was, check back next week, and you just nodded, that wasn't patience. That was surrender. We don't demand performance here. We negotiate with failure. And negotiation is how standards die. Let's talk work culture. If you've ever heard someone say, I reach late, but everybody does. If you've ever seen a meeting scheduled for 9 a.m. start at 10:15 and nobody apologizes, if you've ever watched a contractor miss deadlines by months and still get paid, then stop asking why nothing improves. This is the improvement of mediocrity. Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to say out loud. Trinidad does not reward excellence. It rewards survival inside dysfunction. The best worker doesn't rise fastest. The most connected one does. The most punctual doesn't get promoted. The most flexible with nonsense does. The person who asks the least questions lasts the longest. And then we act shocked when systems rot from the inside. Let's talk money. If you've ever spent $8,000 on rims for a Toyota Axio, but flinch at paying for insurance, if you've ever bought Hennessy by the bottle, but complained that school fees too high, if you've ever flexed iPhone Pro Max, but have zero emergency savings, then please don't lecture anyone about economic hardship. That's not hardship. That's priority failure. We confuse looking successful with being stable, and Instagram has made that confusion fatal. Let's talk education. If you've ever heard a parent say, school not really important, once he's street smart. If you've ever watched a child disrespect a teacher and the parent defend the child, if you've ever seen homework treated like punishment, then stop acting surprised when the workforce looks the way it does. You don't magically produce discipline at 25 if you killed it at 10. Here's another hard one. Trinidad loves credentials but hates competence. We worship degrees. We ignore results. A man could have MBA in his bio, can't run a meeting, can't manage time, can't deliver outcomes, but people say, he educated, eh? Education without execution is decoration. Let's talk service. If you've ever gone to Republic Bank, stand in line for an hour, reach the counter, and the teller says, system down, and you just sigh, you've normalized collapse. In functioning countries, systems going down is an emergency. Here, it's a personality trait. Let's talk leadership. Every election season, same theater. Music trucks, flags, People whining like policy being decided by waistline. Then 6 months later, boy, them disappointing. No, they're consistent. Leadership is a mirror. A society that tolerates excuses elects professional excuse makers. A society that rewards shortcuts elects refined opportunists. You don't elect discipline out of disorder. Let's talk about comparison, because this part makes people angry. When Trinis migrate to Canada, the UK, the US, what's the first thing they notice? Buses on time. Appointments means something. Paperwork actually finishes. Same people, different standards. So what changed? Not DNA, not intelligence, not culture overnight, consequences. You see, Trinidad doesn't lack talent, it lacks pressure. Nobody is afraid of underperforming. Nobody is afraid of being replaced. Nobody is afraid of losing comfort. And without fear of failure, systems decay. Here's the sentence that's going to upset people. Trinidad isn't held back by oppression. It's held back by low expectations. We expect delays. We expect errors. We expect corruption. We expect excuses. And expectation shapes behavior. Let me slow this down. If tomorrow every Trinidadian decided, I will not accept bad service, I will not reward lateness, I will not excuse incompetence, half the systems would change in a year. Not because government magical, because tolerance feeds dysfunction, and we feed it daily. Here's the final gut punch. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort with bad roads, comfort with slow service, comfort with corruption, comfort with decline. Comfort is why nothing feels urgent until it's too late. And the scariest part? Most people reading this are already preparing excuses. That's how deep it runs. If this episode made you angry, good. That means it landed. If you felt exposed, even better. Because standards don't change until denial breaks. Subscribe, because the next episode is about why accountability feels like disrespect in Trinidad, and why that mindset keeps everything broken. And that one's going to hit even harder. Until then, ask yourself